Hi, my name is Axel Davis, driver engineer. Assistant Chief Clark recently approached me regarding a troubling trend in our department, the accidental pumping of DEF fluid into our diesel fuel tanks. Over the last year, we've had 10 incidents where DEF was mistakenly put into diesel tanks. Each mistake cost our department anywhere between $10,000 and $25,000 in repairs. Not to mention the time lost, the resources reallocated, and the manpower involved in getting those rigs back on the road. So today, I'm here to make sure no one else makes that same costly mistake. Let's talk about what DEF is, how diesel engines work, and why this confusion happens. And most importantly, how to avoid this very expensive error. What is DEF? DEF stands for diesel exhaust fluid. It's a non-toxic, colorless liquid made up of 32.5% urea and 67.5% deionized water. But here's the key, DEF is not fuel. DEF is part of a system called Selective Catalytic Reduction, SCR for short, which is designed to reduce emissions, specifically nitrogen oxides, NOx, which are harmful pollutants. When DEF is injected into the exhaust system, it heats up and the urea breaks down into ammonia. This ammonia reacts with NOx gases in the exhaust, turning them into harmless nitrogen and water vapor. This process helps our vehicles meet EPA compliance, improve air quality, and allow engines to run more efficiently, cutting NOx emissions by up to 90%. DEF usage and maintenance. Now, a few key things to remember about DEF usage. DEF is stored in a separate tank and needs to be filled regularly. It's typically consumed at a rate of 2 to 3% of diesel fuel consumption. It also freezes at 12 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 11 degrees Celsius. But don't worry, our trucks are equipped with heaters to prevent that in colder climates. But here's the most important point. Never pour DEF into the diesel tank. The two systems are separate, and doing so will cause significant damage to the engine and SCR system. Trust me, the repair bill will remind you of that mistake. What is diesel and how does it work? Now, let's briefly talk about diesel fuel, how it works in our engines. Diesel fuel is heavier, oilier, and burns more efficiently than gasoline, especially under heavy loads. Diesel engines use compression ignition rather than spark plugs. Air is compressed, it gets hot, and the fuel is injected, leading to spontaneous combustion. Diesel engines are built tougher with higher compression ratios than gas engines, and they are perfect for heavy-duty use. Diesel engines offer better mileage, longer engine life, and lower CO2 emissions per mile. They are ideal for towing and handling heavy applications. But they do have their downsides, like higher NOx emissions and particulates. That's where DEF comes in. Environmental notes. Older diesel engines were major polluters, but with modern technologies like ultra sulfur diesel, ULSD, diesel particulate filters, DPFs, and SCR systems, today's diesel engines meet stringent environmental standards, reducing pollution significantly. How to avoid the mistake? Now, here's the key takeaway. DEF goes in the DEF tank, and diesel goes in the diesel tank. Seems simple, right? But with similar caps, filler necks, and fueling stations, mistakes can and do happen. If you accidentally put DEF into the diesel tank, do not start the engine. Starting the truck will circulate the fluid and cause even more damage. If you're in doubt, stop and double check. It only takes 30 seconds to verify, but it could save thousands in repairs. In closing, let's make sure our trucks stay on the road, our department resources stay protected, and we avoid costly mistakes. The right fluid in the right tank every time. Thanks for your time, and stay safe out there.